So this presentation is about an upcoming project that entails the cleaning and televising of all sewer and drain lines in the north end. So this is not the Salem Street project now. And the project will not entail any excavation or construction, and the scope of the work will span the entirety of the north end. Did I get that right? Okay.
Very good.
Take
I
it
don't
away.
have to do a presentation.
Okay, good.
So good evening. My name is Irene McSweeney, and I'm the Director of Construction at Boston Water and Sewer. Thank you for having us tonight. With me tonight is Dennis Sullivan and James Fleming. They're with our contractor, National Water Main. This project is definitely different from other projects that the Commission does. As I had mentioned 2 weeks ago, I believe, we do inspection of our sewer systems annually, and we do anywhere from 20,000 to 40,000 feet of our existing sewer and drainage systems to make sure they're in good shape. So, because of some complaints in the north end with groundwater issues and rodent activity, and then people believing that they're living in our sewer system, we have been undertaking this project, which will basically do almost every street in the north end. In the handout, I know the map is small, but it gives you kind of just a sense of where we're going. And the colors really don't mean anything, it just helps you see them better. But the thing that is important, if you're interested in knowing if we're coming to your street, on the opposite side we have all the street names. So those are the streets that we have not either done work on or have not televised in recent years to make sure that we are in good shape on the other streets. So it's almost every street in the north end with the exception of a few. Hanover Street is one street that we have televised before and have cleaned several times. There's only one small section up by Cross Street that, not by Cross Street, up by the Mass Highway that we need to do some work, but that's on the Salem Street project. May I give an update on Salem Street?
Sure.
Because when we did meet with the community at our last meeting, we took your information back to the city and met with Nicole and with the Transportation Department, and they did believe that switching the traffic on Parmenter Street was a good detour during the construction and the lining project. We then took and met with some of the businesses on Salem Street one work day last week, and they asked us to hold off until January, which we agreed to. So then I had requested informally, because I can't officially request that until the middle of November, with the Public Works Department to seek a waiver for that project, and they did say that they would look favorably on allowing us to start Salem Street in January. So taking all that information into account, it is beneficial for parking and for street sweeping and all that, and we will try to be done by April so that when the businesses are most active outside, we're done. So keeping all that in mind.
Talk about the time of construction.
Yeah, 8 to 5.
8 to 5.
Yeah, they're fine with that. Faster we can go, and the shorter duration, everybody's happy. So the other project is this inspection project, and I have a few slides to let people know how we actually get into the system. So as I mentioned, it was National Water Main was the low bidder. We couldn't present it 2 weeks ago because we didn't know who the low bidder was at that time. And the engineer that's going to be running this job is Bang Nugent. And I had to switch my presentation wall because I have all these beautiful decorations on the other wall tonight. And I didn't want to take all those beautiful smiley faces down, so sorry for the size of the presentation. So as I said, we have provided you with a list of all the streets. And so why do we investigate these systems? We investigate them to make sure that we don't have any failures that can occur like poor City of Lowell had today, where people looked out their window and there was no street light. So we get in there with very big equipment. That's the only negative thing about a sewer and television inspection contract, is that the equipment is large. Basically, there's two pieces of equipment. One is the Vactor, which is the cleaning apparatus. It's just like your vacuum cleaner in your home. You suck over the carpet, it pulls up the stuff. We send these jet heads down the line, as you can see in the center picture. It pushes all the dirt down the sewer, we suck it out of the manholes in this big vacuum cleaner. Once that's done, we then take the TV camera and we send it down the line to inspect the sewer system. All these things are done at existing manholes in the street. So if you've never walked down the street and observed the covers that say sewer on them, on your way home tonight, go down, usually down the middle of the street, because that was where we were dedicated when the street layout was done, put our sewers right down the middle. So what does that do? When we're sitting in the middle of the street, you can't get by us on the narrower streets. So we're going to have to work with the police officers who will be on the job sites with making sure that residents can get back to their homes during the day when they can, and people that can't get down the street that will be doing detouring to other side streets, adjacent areas so people can get down. So what does the TV inspection show us? Well, the top photo, a lot of the pipes in this area are either made out of brick or clay. So when you go inside, we make sure that the contractor is using color cameras so we can see everything. Bless you. It's contagious, right? You're spreading. So there's a couple things in this pipe that we don't like seeing. First one is this mesh here is not a wig for the Halloween season. It's actually tree roots that come in between the joints, spread the pipe open, let the dirt in, and then we have failures in the roads out above it, and then eventually it washes away and fractures the pipe, and then we have a break. The other thing that this picture shows is this is someone's lateral coming into the sewer system. That's where your flow from your home comes, or your business, and unfortunately that's protruding, which then restricts the flow. So the contractor is required when he's in there to trim that back if he can't get his camera by. And then the major other thing that we do is we look for groundwater infiltration. We don't want the groundwater being depleted in the area, getting into our sewer system, because all it does for us is increase our rates for treating the sewage systems that go to ground. So that's what we're looking for. And then the last thing is we're confirming our size, because some of these pipes were done in the late 1800s. You know, measurements back then may have been in chains, and today we're using inches. So some of our system is not good. So when they have this set up, and if there's a lot of flow in the system, they actually have to set up a pump and bypass the flow around, so they're not trying to suck out the flow and then putting it back in the system. That's only usually on the wider diameter pipes. So you will be getting a notice from the commission once we are ready to start a street. We'll be doing those inspections. Now the good thing about cleaning and TVing, it's very quick. Dennis makes sure his crews are moving fast. They can do probably 1,000 feet a day if the sewers aren't really dirty. So we might be on your street one day, we could maybe be out there 3 days. The biggest street that we are doing is Commercial Street. So we're planning on doing that between Thanksgiving and Christmas, because it is the biggest street in the system. So traffic can still get around it easily, and we're not impacting the businesses or the residents during the holiday season when lunches might be going on for Christmas or the other holidays. We do plan on starting this month. We do want to know if there are any other big events coming. We did wait till Columbus Day weekend was over so that we're not impacting major events. But if you have other big events coming up, we don't work on weekends. We work Monday through Friday, but we're sensitive to anything that is important. So we are trying to coordinate between the two contractors. We now know that Salem Street's going to start in January. We're trying to get everything west of Salem Street done before January. Then we will make sure that he doesn't do anything on the adjoining streets of Hanover or Salem Street. Those will all be finished beforehand, or he'll have to wait. And then we'll do the east side of Hancock Street after January, so that the two operations aren't impacting each other. And we anticipate being complete by March of 2012.
Hanover Street?
Hanover Street, sorry. I'm really tired. A really long week.
I think you also had it on.
Oh, okay. So when I did this earlier, I was
You were tired.
so tired. I'm commuting to New York on the weekends, so.
Now, what do you think is rather than Hanover Street?
We don't really have any work on Hanover Street. except for that one small piece of sewer lining, and that'll be like a 2-day operation. But that'll be somewhere between January and April.
I just saw it.
So there are some impacts, and unfortunately with any project, there are impacts. There's noise, and that's probably the biggest one. That's why we do it in the middle of the day. We don't want to keep everybody up at nighttime. Traffic, the good thing about this project, you saw the size of the equipment, but he sits right on the manhole. So we're not taking away the entire street of parking. We just need the parking spaces in the work zone that we're working at. So there might be 6 or 8 spaces in the area. When the TV truck comes in, he's even smaller, so he just sits over the manhole as well. The unfortunate thing is you do have to set up at the other end. When the camera comes out, you need to have people be able to access that other manhole. So we're going to try to minimize the amount of spaces they need and isolate them. We do a rodent activity program. We do monitor them. We do have contact information on the handouts that if you do see an increase in activity, that the contractor is responsible to respond to that. So you would have to let us know, and we'll get someone out that's a certified pest person to address the issues. So, and again, we're trying to maximize our efficiencies, so we minimize the impact. So we anticipate working from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on this one as well. That way people can sleep in, shower, get ready to go to work, and then get out, and then we'll be off the street by the time they come home. So these are the primary contacts on this job. There shouldn't be really any impact. If we do find any significant damage inside the pipes when we're cleaning these pipes, and there's an emergency, we would obviously notify people ahead of time unless it's a failure. Sometimes when we do get inside these pipes, the condition of the pipes are really bad, and they're almost ready to fail, and sometimes that jet head coming down the line can actually make the pipe fail. So if we do encounter anything that's in really bad shape, then we would have to mobilize crew immediately. Sometimes the camera actually gets stuck in the line when the line fails, but we only have that maybe once or twice a year, and we do 40,000 feet of pipe, so that's a pretty good average. So I just wanted to show you on the back of our other handout. These are the 2 other means of excavation and lining that is going to occur on Salem Street. That's a totally different project. We did do a presentation on this last time, and I am back here tomorrow night for a different group to give these presentations. So if you missed my Salem Street presentation last time, I can come back tomorrow. We can have cocktails afterwards. So anyone have any questions?
Anybody on the board have a question? Go ahead, Bill.
Maybe the contractor could talk about how quickly you can respond to the any rodent outbreaks. I'm sorry, can you talk about how quickly you can respond to rodent outbreaks?
How quickly, well, we have a specialized rodent control contractor that's working as a subcontractor to us. Who's specialized in this kind of work, and he's already gone through and inspected the system, invaded the system. And this week, he's in the middle of rechecking all the different locations to concentrate on if there's any specific activity where we want to keep a close eye on. But as far as, if there's a specific complaint, well, once the commission's contacted, they will contact us and we'll have that subcontractor out to you.
It's usually within a day.
John?
I just have a comment. I just wanted to recognize the fact that you, like last month, presented and actually listened to feedback and then made adjustments based upon the businesses, what they were saying based on the conversation here, and actually made changes. I just wanted to thank you for
Makes
listening
my
and
job
involving us
easier.
in the process and then actually making changes based upon our feedback. So,
And hopefully it works.
Yeah.
There won't be easy, but everybody knows who to call and who to comment to, and things go well, and we're all happy if things don't go well. I try to minimize phone calls, so I like doing the work up front and keeping everybody, right?
Ian had a hand up, Ian?
In relation to the rodent activity, personally, on a scale of 1 to 2, the rodent activity is about 25.
We're aware of that.
Yes, and it's rather scary. So how soon before the job starts do they invade?
It already is.
They're already banned.
And how do they become?
Yeah, 8 o'clock, it's just a huge.
Can you just speak up a little?
Yeah, we bait the sewer system. So that's where if the residents of the sewer system are in there, they go to the food. It's a food source. What they don't understand is there's also got poison in it. So it eradicates them.
So we're using the black box.
No, this is all internal. So we're responsible for baiting our system, catch basins, and our manholes. If the creatures move, they have. Well, we haven't started yet, so
Well, there's rats now where there never was rats before. So that tells me. Travel on to other locations.
well, if there is an issue that's in response to our project, then the contractor comes out, evaluates that. He can investigate if the burrow hole is 2 days old or 40 days old or 40 years old. I can say I've done this for 20 years in the city of Austin, and we have rodent issues in other parts of the city as well. And the biggest issue with rodents is trash. If people put their trash in plastic bags and not in a container that the rats can't get to, the rats won't leave. So that's their biggest source of food is trash. So I know in the North End it's hard to address the trash issue, like in other congested areas of the city. But that's what they feed on. And that's, so by baiting, we'll get rid of some of them, but we won't get rid of all of them. What we try to do is reduce the count while we're here and provide a benefit. But if there is an activity that Dennis sends his guy out and he finds out that he sees the guys coming in and out of the dumpster, because the dumpster's never closed, then we'll report that to ISD. And then ISD will then go to the business and address the rodent activity with the owner. So we'll do our best to address it.
This areas where there are no restaurants.
Okay.
So
But they could be trash day and they have it in their backyards and.
Okay, Phil?
Last time you did a presentation, you mentioned that you're gonna have to go to certain households and tell them not to flush their toilets.
We asked them to reduce their water usage. That's when we're doing the liners.
Okay.
On this job, we're investigating our system to see the condition, to see if we need to put liners in. So if we were to find streets, say there's 10 streets out of the 48 on the list that are in bad shape, and we want to come in and do liners. Those then go to the design section. We will put another contract out. We'll plan that with the community. Then we will advise people in another meeting what we're doing. You're welcome.
Anybody else? Oh, go ahead. Victor?
On the subject of noise, can you give us some comfort? How long is a vacuum cleaner likely to stay in one position before it moves to another one?
Most of the time it's a day. So if you get the notice and your home might be at the library, it would be an alternate for that day. If it's the bigger sewers, and the bigger streets generally have bigger sewers, I indicated the schedules that we've received could be 3 days. But usually it's not on the same manhole.
Are the manholes evenly spaced? Or does
They're
it-
usually about 300 feet on center. But if there's a bend in the road, then we have to put a manhole in.
Thanks.
Anything else? Well, thank you very much. We're getting
Thank you.
used to seeing you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure. And I'll fix the street.
Well, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it when folks like yourself come out and take input from the community and respond to it and act on it. It's very reassuring, so thank you for that.
That was Mad Little Dig. That was Morrissey Boulevard, like 5 years ago. That was 26 feet wide and 26 feet deep. We do some big digging, but there's no street in the north end big enough to do 26 feet wide. Except Hancock.
Hanover.